There we go.
Oh, God. What have I done here? How's that?
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh, no, let's adjust this a little bit. Yeah, look at us. Is Annie sneaking?
Oh, brilliant. You remind me of Peters and Lee. Gary.
That's what we were going for.
Who's the blind one?
That's exactly what we were going for.
That's funny. Oh my God. So, pardon?
Welcome home. That was their big hit.
Yeah, hang on. Let me just put this so that the speaker is full screen. That's better. Right, there we go.
I've just had a smoke, so I feel a bit thinking. I just went to lean back there. Go back on this chair.
He just had a massive pie.
Where, are you in Warrington or are you in Stockport? Where are you?
No, in the studio.
Studio. Oh, okay. And how are you doing, Latch?
Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, we're quite excited, actually. We've sort of finally finished the album and prepping for touring now, so
nice.
It's going to be a bit fun now. Again, me and him, when we started doing this, we were sort of dabbling, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just it evolved from Gaz brought a song in that he'd already done a load of work on, and I got involved with.
Might as well be all in, yeah. Right.
Yeah, so that's what we've done. So we've committed, and it's ramped up, and now it's all got a bit serious. I've sort of blocked the studio out for us, really, sort of our personal studio, because we've set up in there to rehearse now. So for the next month, we're basically rehearsing in there. Are we also going to mention that we are going to do on our tour? We are actually doing a couple of Mondays numbers. We're not idiots. We know that some people who are coming to see Gaz perform will expect Happy Mondays songs.
You could already told her by now. You've gone off on a tangent already, haven't you?
So we've decided to include a couple of Happy Mondays songs.
So we've got there's a special surprise for Mondays fans, particularly fans of Paul's bass playing. So tell us what this big thing is that everybody's talking about.
Oh, you're technical on that.
Okay, so basically we've managed to get our hands on some old recordings, and we've managed to get Paul's bass playing. So we've built a couple. We're performing a couple of Monday songs on the tour for the Mondays fans who are coming to see what Gaz is up to now.
Mm-hmm.
So the Monday songs that we're playing, we've managed to get hold of some of Paul's bass lines, so he's actually playing bass on stage with us, and we've built the tracks around that. So which is actually me and him are sort of buzzing about, if we're honest with you. We're like really made up that Paul's going to be on stage with us.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
He'll be on for about 4 tracks now, get 3, and then the one David Bowie played on.
Yeah, he played on David Bowie, but
so 4.
Yeah.
So it'll be probably 4 tunes.
So he's the bass player.
Half the set, I know. It's quite eerie, isn't it? I know, yeah. We listened to it in here, and it's sounded ace, isn't it?
It's
particularly when you hear it on its own, you realise how good his groove is. It's brilliant.
So the track, are they the other 3 other than the David Bowie one? Are they Monday's tracks?
In one of them, Loose Fit. Again, we rather than just doing what Gaz would do with the Mondays on stage, we're trying to bring our own little thing to it. So there's a section in Loose Fit that I don't want to give the game away. It sort of drops down to a little bit of a dubby section. So we have cut the bass up a little bit to make it a bit dubbier.
Right.
So it's not quite what he played originally. It is him still playing. We've just sort of cut it up a bit. But for the rest of the song, it's exactly as he played it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but isn't that perfect for Paul? So he can be on tour without having to go on.
Yeah.
Having to put his cig out or stand
having
up.
To not smoke.
Yeah. That's what he said. He wanted to do less and less and less and less and less on stage.
Yeah. Now he don't even have to do it.
I used to think it'd be me, that Lou and Andy from Little Britain, the guy with the wheelchair. They used to, so it used to be that's going to be me and you, walking on stage festival. But they want to do less and less and less to the point where you can actually go on tour without having to go on tour.
Brilliant. Are you going to have a hologram or a cardboard cutout or something?
What?
That's not a terrible idea.
You know what? We're doing some footage behind us and stuff and all that, and I think if we've got footage of it, yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I was just thinking that when you said it before, actually, it was just crossing my mind that.
Yeah. I found a load of old home video stuff. If you want any of that, just him messing about at home.
Yeah.
So if you want
to speak to PR lady.
It's in our house when we first moved into Worsley. There's an hour of just messing about the kids, him in the kitchen, him up against the like there's
in that house as well. That'd be really good. Yeah. That'd be brilliant.
And he looked really well as well, like he was well at that point. So keep the legacy going, keep the keep him alive, keep him high.
We were talking before. When was it the other night? It happens at weird times in the middle of the night, and you get up and I just think sometimes. I think it's weird. Horses isn't with us anymore. It's really weird. You're like, you're going to do a gig, you're going to sit in a van and have a laugh with him, especially me and him, just look at each other and say, and it's not, it's weird. It's like,
what comes to me sometimes are little phrases that are ingrained in my brain, things he used to, he was a bit like Asperger's sometimes. He used to repeat things a lot. Like he'd hear something on the radio, like one was "Kapoo here." Do you remember that one? "Kapoo here." And I don't know where it was from, but sometimes randomly those things will come into my brain. I think, oh, that's one of Paul's. "Kapoo here."
Well, weird. Remember that you see a bloke from Bolton who did put up one of them small businesses that took his own advert out. Yeah, so he appeared in it. Like you get in the States, but you don't really get in England. And he's double glazing, and he's going, you buy one, you get one free.
That's right.
You buy one, you get one free. And he used to do that all the time.
And they become catchphrases. They become like, it makes sense. That was one as well. Yeah. It makes sense.
Be so lucky.
You'll have notes. You'll have notes. You'll have notes.
If you worms.
You bloody worm.
It's getting weirder. Dead odd though, innit? You can't wrap your head around.
So tell me what inspired this. Like, what's the inspiration for the album? Where's it come from? Like, where's the nuggets that gave birth to it all?
You know what? It's funny. Like when we first formed the Mondays, it was like, I remember, like when Paul used to say, "Oh, just do an album, just get a record out. I don't care whether anybody hears it or not. Just got to do it, so that I know that I've been on record." That was his thing. He was on. That's what have a record release. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the same thing. I just like, I'll just do it. I've got this out, just do it out and just do it never took it serious for no reason, just to do a bit of time and just for my own.
Do you both feel like if you're not creating, you feel kind of stifled? Like, do you think as creative people, you have to have an outlet in order to feel whole? I know it sounds like that question, but like, because I think if you're a creative person and you're not doing that, it kind of chokes you somehow. It's like
I can't say if I've ever not done it.
Right.
So that question sort of makes sense to me, but doesn't. I cannot imagine ever not doing it. Like even if I lived in a shack in the middle of the desert, I would still be messing around with Summer making music, and I might not record it.
Camel.
Yeah.
Get music out of a camel.
Yeah, easy. Might not record it, might not do anything with it. It would be like having dinner or something. I can't imagine not doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I've never not done it enough to go, oh, I can't not do this, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's just part of your DNA, I think, isn't it? I think it's just something you couldn't.
Oh yeah, of course could.
What, not make music ever again?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
You'd never pick up a guitar and just mess around at home.
Probably not. No.
You liar.
No, maybe I don't know.
What about though in terms of creation? So with the Mondays, the last album was a good decade ago that you were involved in. So like there wasn't really any new stuff being.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's not done anything. The Mondays were just doing the same. It's a live gig. It wasn't.
Yeah.
So that was what you got to create and carry on doing them. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it for myself, I suppose. There wasn't anything going on, and we couldn't agree to actually do something. Yeah, really frustrated. So I just wanted to do it myself.
You've been frustrated because you've not been able to produce or create an album for 10 years. So you've given birth to something. It's like a pent up creativity that's come out in this.
I don't know whether it's out of being whole or fulfillment. I think it's more out of ego versus ego. That if you never did, just want to do it, just do an album, like I was saying before. And if nothing happens, nothing happens. If it doesn't, no one likes it. But at least I know that I've done one.
What's the goal with it? Like, what do you want to achieve with it? Like, or is it the goal? Just produce.
Goals. We're not bloody Americans. Don't have goals. No goals.
No, but like, what's the?
Not that far ahead.
what do you want to achieve with it? Do you want it to be like a hit? Do you want to do touring with it? Do you want to do a second one? Do you want to get a big load of money from a record label to do?
Oh, that won't. Not them things happen, but maybe just a tour, yeah, and see. We'll see. We've got no
expectations.
No
Yeah.
agenda.
You can put it out there, give publicity, and see what happens.
We're just sort of going as far as we can with it and see what happens. We literally have no expectation. When we sat down and discussed this, we literally went, we're not bothered if nothing happens. We're enjoying doing it. And like you say, it's like a vent. You get it out there.
Yeah.
And it's like I said to you earlier, initially we were just mucking around. And then we thought we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't put any effort in here. So we decided, you know what, if we're going to do it, let's have don't half-arse it. Let's have a proper go.
Right.
If something happens, brilliant. If it doesn't, we're not that bothered. It's not like we're 20-year-olds and all our hopes and dreams are on this. They're not.
Right.
We pretty much finished the first album. We actually have a stack of other songs ready to go, should we need them for a next album.
Are you going to do a second one?
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Possibly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Might as well. If you've got songs, you might as well finish them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. It never ends, does it? Because by the time you finish them, you'll have already started working on others as well. We've booked this tour, so we're going to go out. I'm really looking forward to that, just because of two reasons. One, it's a change from being stuck in here all the time, because we have worked really hard. We've really poured our heart and souls into it. You know what I mean? You're agonising over minute decisions. So we have really, really poured our heart and souls into it. So it would be nice to go out and perform it, which we are doing. And it would be even better, and again, if this is an ego thing, if people dig it. Do you know what I mean? When getting feedback from people who are there and going, that's brilliant. Just like, it's sort of an acknowledgement that all the hard work you put in was worthwhile, if that makes sense. And it massages the ego, which doesn't hurt, but that's not what it's about. But it would be great, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then enough of that, and we'll definitely do another album.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So tell me a bit about what the live show is going to look like.
Just keyboards, Latch behind keyboards.
Right.
Behind
programming behind the keyboards, but without a microphone. So me with a guitar, and there's the proper guitar, the proper guitar, lead guitarist, and all that, and some backing track.
So you're doing all the singing, Gary?
Yeah, apart from some like backing vocals and all that on the backing track, but yeah.
And who's the backing vocalist?
Different ones on different tracks.
Ones, yeah, it's different ones.
Again, the concept of it when we started was the family tree. We wanted the ability to bring different people in to work with us and feature on tracks, which again would be a nightmare if you're trying to take that on the road with all the original artists. You'd end up with 25 people on tour, if you know what I mean.
So it's like a collective, really. So I didn't realise there were so many different people involved. So there's like 10 or 15 people.
But some of them are just doing so Neil plays trumpet on one song, Mike B's put guitar on a couple of songs, Chris sings on a couple. So it's just a little bits here and there, if you know what I mean. But a lot of people have contributed.
Victoria sings on one,
yeah. Okay. So give me the dates and the towns that you're playing in.
We have a wall planner on the wall out here. Birmingham, Derby, Glasgow, Newcastle, Swansea, Bristol, Brighton, Bournemouth, Manchester, Bury, London, Skegness, Stockport.
That's a massive tour.
There's about 12 or 15 so far, but more shows could be added yet.
Excellent.
That. Too much.
So should we do like a giveaway, should we do like a competition and give a prize of a 2 tickets to any of the shows?
Yeah, I've got a t-shirt as well.
Liam Gallagher wears one.
Does he? Oh, well, there you go. Right, so let's have a question then. Can you think of a question that people can answer, and then we'll pick somebody out of the hat to be a winner?
David Bowie.
In this song, the ballad of David Bowie, there's a mention of another famous band.
Okay.
Who is it?
Where can they find this song?
I found it if you just Google it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so if you Google it, you can watch the video, can't you?
Where?
The ballad of David Bowie. Yeah.
Okay, well, viewers of this show will have an inside track because we've played that song at least 3 times. Okay, so the competition question is, what other band other than David Bowie is mentioned in your song, The Ballad of David Bowie? And it's by the band Yogi G and the Family Tree, if they want to look up the video. And so we'll have next week, we're going to be back at the same time, and everybody that's entering the competition. And how do they enter the competition? In the chat of this YouTube video, they can put the names into a hat, and then you can pick next week a winner, and the winner will get 2 tickets to a gig of their choice from the list of the tour dates that you do. So basically, wherever you are in England, Scotland, Wales, you'll be able to find a gig reasonably close to you then.
Well,
fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk a bit about the music. Tell me what the songs are about. Like is there a message in them? Is it feel good? Is it introspective? Is it
a bit of everything, I think. I think we're a pair of moaning old men. We've reached an age where now I don't know whether this is representative of our age or just the state of society, but everything a mess in it. So some of them are just us venting our disappointment in that and calling to arms people to not lie down and take it. Some are just feel good records.
It's I always want to do an album of songs that sound like a record collection, not like loads of different genres.
Right.
Not that there's not one style. Everyone should have their own, make their own decision on what it means to them.
You can take one of the songs and me and him think they mean totally different things. A lot of it has been coined as uplifting melancholy by Pat,
Paradox.
a fan of ours. He says it's uplifting melancholy.
The ones I've heard are catchy, like very, like they get in my brain. And
which ones? What have you
heard?
The
David Bowie one particularly. Like I find myself singing that around the house. Like it gets in my head.
There's 2 on the album that are proper catchy.
Just 2.
Well, no, what I mean is 2 of them are very immediate.
It's a morale builder, isn't it? That's one word. It's a morale builder, isn't it? There's 2 on the album.
What I meant, you know what I meant.
There's 2 on the album. There's another one.
Yeah, there's one that's really good.
There's another one. There's another one. In the 10, 9, or 10 songs. There's another one.
Out of 11, there's a really good one in there. You know what I mean. There's 2 of them that are very, for want of a better word, poppy. Very immediate, very catchy. Whereas something like David Bowie or Black Symphony, I feel it's got a bit more depth to it. So once you know what I mean, it's like the some that grab you straight away.
That one pretty good.
But you didn't let me finish in the first place. Some that grab you straight away that if you weren't a fan, you might hear and go, oh, "This is a really,
I think the David Bowie one grabs you straight away.
Okay.
Some people.
That's David Jones, save my soul. That's what goes around in my head and gives me
that one at Black Symphony for me are just magnificent things.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, they're just big, magnificent things, but they're layered, and again, there's a bit of depth to them. Whereas some are a bit more poppy and immediate, if you know what I mean.
Do you have any plans to release it on vinyl?
Yeah,
we do. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! And what is the release date? Another important question.
May. Hang on. Let me get my diary. I'll tell you.
May. It's early May. Going to put a couple of singles out.
I'll tell you the official release date is the 23rd of May.
Right. Okay. And then the singles are coming out when?
Beginning of April. They're starting to leak a few out. But we're having a big release on the 23rd of May of the album and a track called Shine On, which is one of the singles. 16th of May.
Yeah.
The first off the album will be coming out.
Right.
But the full album and the second single, if you will, off the album is the 23rd of May.
Right. Okay. So what is the first single? Which one? Which track?
Well, I think they're just putting him.
Blind Man. I think they're putting Black Symphony and David Bowie out again.
Just because they do it properly.
Yeah, because they've been out, but they're sort of handling the promotion and PR. And then they're bringing out Blind Man on the 16th of May. Right. And then the album, which is actually going to be called Black Symphony.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and the single Shine On will be out on the 23rd of May.
So the album's called Black Symphony.
It is.
And it's Yogi G and the Family Tree.
Yogi G was one of the piss take names Paul used to call me. He used to take the piss out of me because I did meditation yoga, you know, like he did, you know. And he used to say, Guru Gaz, Yogi G. Yogi G. So I thought, I like that, Yogi G.
Yogi G. Okay, so for people that don't know you, Latch, can you just give us a potted history of who you are and what your musical credentials are, who you've worked with in the past, like how you came to be involved with Gaz and this project? But this is basically an opportunity for you to brag about the people that you've worked with, the records you've worked on, the people that have come through the studio, how you met Gaz, you all got on, just kind of, because if people have never heard of you, you kind of need to brag about.
Embarrassing. My chance to nip to the toilet for a pee after that cup of tea. And you,
I hate this.
And then you're on your own. Then
yeah, no, I hate this.
So, how did you get started in music?
First year of high school, punk rock, Sex Pistols. Me and two of my mates went, let's form a band. Ian Finney, the guitarist, he joined a band called The Tempest, who was signed to Magnet Records. So his sort of career took off. They had a few top 10 singles and stuff like that at the time. And I'd got to a point where I was just pissed off with being a drummer. You were in bands, you know, you'd rehearse, you'd write some songs, you'd be thinking, oh, we're getting somewhere, this is great. You'd do a few gigs, you might even record a demo or whatever, and then the singer shags the guitarist girlfriend or whatever, and the band splits up, and I'm lugging a drum kit round,
right?
And I'm committed, and I just got pissed off with relying on other people. And just by the sheer look of when this was, which was the early 80s.
We're only at the early 80s.
All the technology and stuff was just becoming available, drum machines and synthesizers and that. So I had this bright idea that I don't need anyone else. I can get a drum machine and just write on my own and work on my own. So that's what I did. I learned all that stuff. Then the one thing I can't do is sing. So I always ended up collaborating with singers and rappers and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And then a mutual friend of ours who was a dancer was on tour with Rosella on the Michael Jackson Dangerous tour.
Right.
Rosella's manager heard him playing some demos that we'd done on the tour bus. And he sort of went, oh, this is cool. What's this? And Chris Sargent, who managed Rosella, basically gave me an opportunity to come and work for him. And then obviously you're working in West London, like mega artists are coming through the studios, Bobby Womack, Chaka Khan, all kinds of mad big names. I was still working for them, but developing sort of freelance clients of my own. And then one day,
should do auctions. I'm sure he breathes through his ears. Must be able to breathe through his ears. Don't take a breath.
He says this. He talks as much as me. A band come into one of the studios where I worked. There was 3 studios in our piece of the building, and a band came into Studio 1, and the house engineer was struggling to connect all their equipment up.
Right.
So he basically come and got me and went, "Can you come and help?" That band was the Lighthouse Family.
Oh, okay.
They became great mates of mine, and I started doing a lot of work with them.
Right.
And then maybe early 2000s, I just had enough of working in London. It was costing me a fortune and everything else. I decided to move back up here and sort of set up my own place. And then basically I moved, 1999, I moved into this building in 1999.
Wow. You've been in that building 26 years.
Yeah, 1999.
Fast forward to 2024.
We're
in 25 now, aren't we?
Yeah.
But I've worked with a lot of people.
Go on, drop some names of who's been through your studio.
Through this studio?
Sugar Hill Gang, Star Sailor.
No, Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, Star Sailor. We've also got the rehearsal rooms here as well. So literally any band in this area has passed through these doors. You know, Viola Beach rehearsed here. Star Sailor been through here. All the Fall, Marquis Smith, the Fall. Pete Waterman did a lot of work with Pete here.
Yeah. Happy Mondays, I believe.
Yeah, they've been here.
Is that how you met Gaz through the
that is
rehearsing?
You were a wetter before, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd worked with Ro quite a lot. I was recording a lot of vocals with Ro. She's prolific. She's just doing records constantly with a lot of dance stuff, isn't she? So she's prolific. So she would come in and we would record vocals, which would then be sent off to whoever she was currently working with. And that's how, when the Mondays were reformed in 2012 and they were looking for somewhere to rehearse, I think she threw my name in the hat and went, "This guy's got, rehearsal spaces. Get him." And then I believe,
just don't start talking to him.
Yeah. Don't engage him in conversation, whatever you do. And then I believe Paul contacted me via email and sort of asked a few questions, and we talked money and specs and stuff like that, and everything was, yeah, let's go. They booked it, and then 2012 they turned up here.
Yeah. What did you think when you first met? Do you remember the first time you ever met Gaz?
Not specifically, no.
Somewhere around building, isn't it?
No, what I mean is, my mind was on when you lot all turned up here. My mind is focused on the job, if you know what I mean. So this is a professional band who are turning up to rehearsal space that they're paying money for. Yeah. Well, of a fashion. I need to ensure that them arriving here and getting going is as smooth as possible. So I was more focused on the tech stuff and have you got what you need and everything's here, blah, blah, blah. But then, particularly the first week or two, I made sure I was sort of around about the area in case there was any technical issues or anything like that. And just by that process, you get introduced and you meet. And like I say,
it's me, you and Paul who got on.
That's what I say. Yeah. We gravitated towards one another. Don't get me wrong, everybody's lovely in the, and I got on great with everyone. But I think just Gaz, Paul, and myself with the same age, same background, same sort of sense of humour, we gravitated towards one another. So often, and me and Paul smoke. So at dinner time and stuff like that, we'd end up hanging out and just chatting. And yeah, there you go.
I was thinking, the night I was thinking about. Back to Paul again, really weird. Weird things, weird times. You remembering things that trigger things. I was in my wardrobe and I noticed that I've not got many pairs of shoes. and I thought
that's a lie.
No, I'm not.
Comparative.
Then again, Imelda Marcos.
Yeah. Imelda Marcos, Paul, then you.
No, Paul, no. Anyway, and I didn't have enough space for him. I only got a few pairs, and I thought. The Paul died. What happened to that room full of his? What happened to his shoes? There's got to be a landfill somewhere. Aaron Brockovich is complaining about something. You know what I mean? If his shoes, where are they? And aftershaves. Got to be shoes and aftershaves.
Aftershaves, yeah.
Well, he lost a lot of them when his house burned down, but then he had 2 years to buy more. He would have probably replaced most of them. Yeah.
Oh, he definitely would have replaced him. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, it was his perfect excuse to go to like TK Maxx and spend every penny.
We all love TK Maxx.
Yeah.
Big shout out to TK Maxx.
Yeah.
yeah. TK. Whenever we used to go to a different town on tour, we'd get there. And the tour and just say straight to the hotel, and Paul go, "Oh no," on his phone.
Yeah.
There's a TK.
Yeah, I do exactly the same.
Yeah. Just talk to me, Gaz, about you saying that Paul's always kind of in your ear, like telling you something to cheese.
You got to remember when we started the band, he was my friend in the band, but he was a couple of years older than me, and he was, how obsessed he was with music, and so he was kind of, him and Sean were kind of the ones who was learning off about music.
Don't do that.
They introduced, don't do what?
That's the camera you're banging around there.
It adds something to it, doesn't it? It shows that it's live.
Like an earthquake.
Yeah. So he was like I was learning off them because he's older than me, Paul and Shaw. Especially Paul, because I was closer to him about music. So they were like kind of my teachers. So like there was a lot of things in bands. Like remember, I was never allowed to do that thing on drums where you go, you never do that. And it's the Mondays never ever ended a song with. Dun-dun. Oh well, that's a bit Spinal Tap. Like bands end with. Right. We never did that ever. That was a.
He's done it in the middle of David Bowie.
I know, yeah.
But was that because of Paul saying we can't end songs like that?
Yeah, because it was cheap. And you know what? Absolutely right. And I've never done that. Absolutely right. and so, you know, there's certain things that were just cheesy we never done. So like, I remember that. So when we're doing things like that, I remember sometimes you go, it needs a bit. Oh no, we can't. You know. So yeah. So he's always with me with things like that.
He wouldn't approve.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and you get older, things change. But yeah,
It's funny, isn't it?
just because things like certainly things like anything that's cheesy or if something's funny, like we did a song the other day. I'm not going to say what it was. And this was last week, the end of it, and we couldn't get the bass line right.
I know you knew you were going to say this.
We did this bit and like to this bass line on the keyboards because we have a bass player.
I played it.
You played it. Yeah. That's even worse.
I know.
And then we came back and he's working song. Something's not right about this song since that bass line. It sounds silly. This doesn't make it. So we soloed the bass and I went, it's Black Lace. And it was more sort of song, my Black
Superman.
Dun, 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 and that was like,
and then they can't unhear it. Then you know now that can't be the bass now because that's all I can hear.
And it's fun because
and swim.
In situations like on the couch corner there, and
killed me.
Black Lace, and Paul, you know, he'd have got it straight away. He said he would have known Black Lace, you know, he would have got on it straight. And he put that said it before me or with me, you know. Just so little things like that I was remembering about, yeah. Always, yeah.
Brilliant.
He's always paranoid about always about doing something different. I'm glad.
Yeah. I suppose really it was about being validated as a musician.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You don't want to be seen to be cheesy or whatever else. He wants to do something that other, you know, musicians and stuff are going to go, that's cool.
Right. Yeah.
Which ultimately he achieved, but I don't think he knew.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, he did. He did deep down. I bet he did.
Did he?
Yeah, but we're all insecure, aren't we?
Yeah,
you don't think so. Yeah, your moments of positivity and your own ego, you deep down, but then most of the time you're insecure, aren't you? So you don't, but I reckon.
Do you think Paul would have been surprised at the outpouring when he died and the level of respect that there clearly is amongst the Mondays fans and music fans generally? Do you think? I think he would have been really blown away by it.
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah, he would have been. But like again, like what I just said, then he would have been surprised. But deep down, I think he'd have known that, you know, because he had loads of friends. You know, so deep down, I think he'd have known. But then there's always that.
It's nice to be validated.
Yeah. I just think he gave it as posthumous. He was, but still, you know what I mean? But he did.
Always the way, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The lesson is, isn't it, to tell people that you respect musically, to tell them that before they're dead. People that you love, tell them that you love them before it's too late.
Some people do, but it can come across as a bit sycophantic, can't it? You know what I mean? So then it doesn't. It's not sort of real.
I know we sat now. I keep saying this all the time. People keep saying to me, and I'm not trying to be all chat show and get back to the songs and the album, but you know, every time you play songs to people, they always keep saying to me, I don't want to blow smoke up your ass, but it's like, just to give us a compliment, it's fine.
Yeah, but you miss it. Yeah, it's nice, and you thank them, and it's nice, but you sort of dismiss it, don't you? You sort of go, oh, thanks for that. You know what I mean? But
we can't take compliments.
That's what it is.
And I think Paul would have said
that's what it is.
He would have liked it, but he wouldn't have liked it. You know.
Now, is that a British thing?
Maybe.
We're shit at taking compliments. Maybe. And personally, I tell you what, I'm terrible at celebrating any successes.
Yeah.
I'm not. You move the goalposts.
Of course not.
You know what I mean? Like if you went, let's say one of our records went, I don't know whether the charts are still going. Let's say it went top 10.
Yeah.
In my head, rather than enjoying that moment, I would be going, we need a top 5 next.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're not celebrating that victory.
Paul talked about that very thing. It's like, well, first of all, I wanted to release an album. So we did that. Well, I want to get on top of the pops. Then we'll have made it. We did that. And so you're never satisfied because it's always slightly out of reach. Maybe that's healthy and keeps you going and keeps you creating and keeps you moving forward rather than.
I'm envious sometimes of people who can celebrate. You know, like a local band here who are a really great band. I've worked with them. I've just got themselves on. There's a festival here in Warrington called Neighbourhood, and they're playing that. They're the bottom of the bill because they're an unsigned band, but they're on it. You'd think they were playing Wembley. They're so beside themselves. Do you know what I mean? And I'm quite envious that they really genuinely are celebrating that win. Because me, we're bottom of the bill. oh, we must try it. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrate the victories, enjoy, savor the moment. You know what I mean?
But do you think he'd have been able to take a compliment? Tough one, that, isn't it? Depends how you got him, didn't it? But a little bit, but not too. Yeah, you can't. I know he would have liked it, but not been able to. He would have liked it, but not been
he
able.
liked it. If he got recognised and somebody asked him for his autograph, he would really like that. But I think if it happened all the time, it'd be annoying. But it didn't happen very often. It would happen, I don't know, but the whole time I was with him, it probably happened 5 times. So it was rare. You know, if we were just like randomly walking down the street. Remember once we went to Nando's in Bolton and the server recognised him and we were with the boys and they comped our dinner and he was so excited. I don't know whether he was more excited that they comped our dinner or
probably he was free. The only time I can say I got sort of excited was the first time I probably heard something I'd done on the radio.
Right.
That was like, oh wow, you know what I mean? But that's short-lived, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've never got excited about anything.
No, that's
I was shopping with Paul here in Trader Joe's, which is like a kind of trendy supermarket. And the Mondays came on the music in the shop in LA, and I was like, hey! And he was kind of mortified,
squirming. Run around the shop and tell everyone it's you, don't you?
Oh yeah. It's not where we used to go to Trader Joe's near you, yeah. So it depends, but yeah, all the time. I don't know how people do that.
No, like proper A-list celebs can't walk out the door.
Yeah,
well, I think he would have liked it, but but you know.
Do you think he's around still? Do you think he's conscious of what's going on, even though he's over there?
I don't know. That's a lifelong question, isn't it?
Yeah.
What happens?
It is. I kind of like to think he's up there. You know.
It's just like I said, it still felt really strange.
You can't wrap your head around it. It's a big concept, isn't it?
Yeah, it just takes me random. If someone had phoned me up until he'd had a heart attack, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah. Right.
I've never seen him break a sweat in 30 years, you know what I mean? But so that probably wouldn't surprise me, but the way it happened, it just really surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's come out of the blue, didn't it?
Yeah.
I just didn't expect it. I just didn't. Yeah, it's very strange.
I remember when Amelia rang me and told me, my first words out of her mouth were, yeah, I knew it. And it's like, whoa, I didn't know that I did, but it was like, I remember we were finishing the podcast and he was going to England for a tour. And I remember feeling this real sense of urgency to get it finished before he went and not leave anything undone. And he seemed to feel the same, like we worked really hard to get everything finished. And then it was weird. It was almost like I knew and he knew, but obviously I didn't really. But that was the first thing I said when she told me.
No, that's the first thing I said. Damn, well, obviously I've been over that day, and then I was staying at my mum's that night. So it was about midnight. I said, "Will Linda still be up?" And Mum said, "Yeah." I said, "Just phone and check on Paul." That was the day we come at rehearsals, and he couldn't hear. He was very. I mean, I just thought he'd maybe got his meds wrong, or he was just tired, jet lag, or a combination. He was more lethargic than usual.
Not enough Red Bull.
You know what I mean? Well, yeah, he'd have Red Bull and be more lethargic. He was worried about his head. He's like, it's weird. I didn't for a minute think it was going to get worse. As far, if he might not be able to do the gigs he was in. That was the most. I said to midnight, just ring Linda. And she ran. Linda went and checked on him, and came back and said, yeah, he's snoring. So he was still alive at midnight.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, he's okay. He'll go to sleep in the morning. And then Paul went in the morning. And he was Dan. And he went, you better sit down. And I went, I know. So he said, you better sit down. I went, I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hard. So you all went over there, didn't you? To the house.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, my mum had moved then, because my mum would have been literally across the road.
Yeah, actually, that's a question. The first question I should have asked you, that the main thing everybody's going to want to know is, how's Sandra doing?
Just left there. We left there before I came in the studio today. I went to see her on Sunday. Same.
Yeah.
Drinking a rum.
That's good. That's good. We've got another episode I recorded with them I've not put out yet, actually. We'll have to get that out soon. Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. All right. So we're going to have this competition question, which is what other band is mentioned in the song The Ballad of David Bowie? And I think the easiest thing to do is for anyone, go and check it out and then put the answer in the comments in the YouTube comments. And then randomly we'll pick out a name from a hat next week, because you're going to come back next week and you're going to play some tracks live. And then maybe you can take some questions from people if people have any questions they want to ask you. Do you want to do that as well? Should we do that? Yeah. All right. Brilliant. So we'll be back next.
The acoustic. Did you see the Acoustic Mondays thing we did at Christmas?
No.
Well, that's the chilled out thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're not doing them versions live.
No, but at Christmas, I don't know why, he just come in one day and suggested it. Sort of between Christmas and New Year, you know, when we were quiet. Let's just do something for a bit of a giggle. So we did 3 stripped down acoustic versions of Monday songs. It's up on YouTube. It's just me, him, and John the guitarist sat in there.
Under the cheesy title, You're Twisting My Melancholy.
Oh, nice.
It's not only joking, it's not. It
was called Mondays for Sundays.
You know, you decided it was called that without speaking to anyone.
And I will never make that mistake again.
All right, so we'll see you back next week, Sunday night, 8 o'clock UK time. We'll be back. And so we'll have a mini gig or a mini acoustic gig, and you'll answer some questions from some fans, and we'll pick out a winner from the competition, where somebody will win a pair of tickets to one of your shows. That sound good?
Yeah, we do acoustic, do 2 proper full-on bands to it.
May as well.
Oh, 2 full-on songs, even better. Whatever you want to do. I mean, the more the merrier, whatever you want to do.
Surprise you next week.
Give us a surprise.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Thank you so much.
See you later.
See you soon. See you next week. Take care.
See you next week. Bye. Bye.